All right, ready to dive deep?
Always.
Today, we're tackling a classic, Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich,
A classic for sure.
published back in 1937.
Wow, almost a century ago.
But it's amazing how relevant it still is.
Yeah, the principles still hold up. Timeless wisdom.
So we're going to extract those golden nuggets, those key insights, and we'll share some of the fascinating stories from the book.
Lots of aha moments in this one.
Definitely. Okay, so one of the first things Hill talks about is this idea of burning desire.
Yeah, it's foundational. It's the starting point for everything.
The fuel, right?
Exactly. And he illustrates it with this great story of Edwin Barnes.
Oh, yeah, Barnes. Determined to work with Thomas Edison.
So determined that he, get this, rode a freight train to meet him.
Wait, a freight train? Seriously?
Yep. No money, no connections, just this burning desire to work with Edison.
That's some serious commitment.
It paid off, though. He eventually became Edison's business partner.
Wow. Talk about a life-changing encounter.
All sparked by that unwavering desire.
So inspiring. It shows that anything is possible if you have that fire in your belly.
Absolutely.
Okay, so how do we translate that desire into actual results?
Hill gives us 6 very specific steps.
6 steps. All right, lay them on us.
Step 1, you got to be crystal clear about what you want.
Okay, so no more vague wishing.
No more, I want to be rich.
Yeah,
You have to define it. Specific amount.
got it specific.
Yes, exactly. All right, what's next?
Step 2 is recognizing that you need to give something in return for the wealth you desire. What value will you bring?
Right. It's all about exchange.
It's a universal law. Nothing comes for free.
Got it. Okay, step 3,
Set a deadline.
a deadline. I got
Yes,
it.
say you want that $1 million by December 31st, 2025. Write it down. Own it.
Adds that urgency.
Exactly. Focus. All right, step 4. This is where the rubber meets the road. You need a plan.
A plan. Got to have a plan.
And you need to start taking action, even if you don't feel 100% ready.
Don't wait for the perfect moment. Make it happen.
That's it. Action is key. What are the last 2?
Step 5 is to put it all down in writing. Your desired amount, the timeline, what you're giving in return, your plan of action. It crystallizes everything.
Like a contract with yourself.
Exactly. And finally, step 6. This is where we tap into the subconscious mind.
Ooh, the subconscious. Powerful stuff.
It is. This step is about autosuggestion. Read your written statement aloud twice a day. Visualize yourself already possessing that wealth. Feel it.
So it's not just thinking it, it's feeling it, believing it.
Right, on a deeper level.
Now, Hill also talks about the importance of imagination.
Yes. And not just for artists.
Right, not just daydreaming.
It's a crucial part of the process for everyone. Hill calls it the workshop of the mind. It's how we turn desires into concrete plans and actions.
So give us an example. How does this work in the real world?
He uses this really captivating story, the story of the enchanted kettle.
The enchanted kettle, what's that all about?
Well, it's the story of how Coca-Cola was created.
Coca-Cola. That started with a kettle.
It did. This old country doctor, he had this secret formula, right? And he sold it to this young drug clerk for like $500, his life savings.
Wow.
But along with the formula, he gave him this big brass kettle.
Okay.
And that kettle, combined with the formula and a whole lot of imagination, became Coca-Cola.
That's incredible. It shows how a simple idea, some imagination, and a bit of entrepreneurial spirit can lead to something huge.
It's a great example of the power of imagination.
Yeah.
Speaking of incredible stories, Hill also shares the story of this young preacher who desperately wanted $1 million.
$1 million. What did he want it for?
He wanted to build a school.
Okay, noble goal.
It is. He had been, kind of cultivating this desire for 2 years. But the turning point came when he made a firm decision to secure the money within a week.
$1 million in a week? That's ambitious.
Very ambitious.
So did he succeed?
He did. And it's a remarkable story. He met with this wealthy businessman, Philip Armour, and presented his vision with so much conviction and faith that Armour gave him the entire $1 million.
Yeah.
All within 36 hours of him making that firm decision.
That's amazing. It's like anything is possible if you truly believe in your vision and take action. Now, Hill also places a lot of emphasis on persistence.
Persistence is essential, the bedrock of success. He talks about W.C. Fields, who, even in his 60s, facing financial ruin and health problems, was able to make a comeback in Hollywood.
Wow, that's inspiring. So even when things get tough, you just have to keep going.
You got it. You have to align your actions with your desires and never give up.
It reminds me of that saying, luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity.
Exactly. And those favorable breaks, those lucky breaks, they often come to those who are working hard and persistently pursuing their goals.
You create your own luck.
That's right. And this ties in with another principle that Hill highlights, the mastermind.
The mastermind. Okay, tell us about that.
It's the idea that a group of like-minded individuals working together in harmony can achieve far more than they could individually.
Makes sense. Even great minds like Henry Ford and Thomas Edison recognized the power of collaboration.
They did. They understood that surrounding yourself with people who complement your strengths and share your vision can be a game changer.
So find your tribe, your mastermind group.
Exactly. Support each other, brainstorm, hold each other accountable. It's a powerful concept.
So I've got burning desire, concrete steps, imagination, persistence, and the mastermind. What else is in store for us?
Well, next time, we'll delve into specialized knowledge, the power of the subconscious mind, and even explore Hill's concept of the sixth sense.
Oh, the sixth sense. I'm intrigued. Can't wait to dive into that.
It's a fascinating concept. Stay tuned. Picking up where we left off, Hill also emphasizes the importance of specialized knowledge.
Specialized knowledge.
Yeah, he makes this distinction between like general knowledge and specialized knowledge. And he's saying it's the specialized knowledge that's really crucial for creating wealth.
So just having a ton of random facts isn't enough.
Right. It's not about knowing a little bit of everything. It's about having deep knowledge in a specific area.
The area you want to succeed in.
Exactly. And he points out that even like university professors with all their knowledge, they often struggle financially.
Yeah, sometimes.
So it's not about being a walking encyclopedia. It's about having that focused knowledge.
And knowing how to apply it.
Exactly. Uses Henry Ford as an example.
Oh, yeah. Ford didn't have much formal education.
Right, but he built an empire.
Because he was a master in the automobile industry.
Exactly. He had that specialized knowledge of mechanics production, the market.
So knowledge is power, but only when it's applied strategically.
Right, and to formulate those strategies, you need imagination.
Okay, back to imagination.
Hill calls it the workshop of the mind.
I like that.
It's how we take our desires and turn them into plans and actions.
He talks about two types of imagination, right?
He does synthetic imagination and creative imagination.
Okay, break those down for us.
So synthetic imagination is about combining existing ideas in new ways,
Okay.
like taking building blocks and making something new.
Got it.
And then creative imagination, that's where those brand new ideas come from, those aha moments.
It's like true innovation.
Yeah, and he links creative imagination to infinite intelligence.
Ooh, infinite intelligence. Now we're getting metaphysical.
It is a fascinating concept. Hill suggests that, thought vibrations from other minds can be picked up through creative imagination.
It's like we're all connected in some way.
In a way, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And that might explain why some people seem to be in the right place at the right time,
Mm-hmm.
picking up on those ideas and opportunities before anyone else.
Interesting.
It's like tapping into a collective consciousness.
Okay, so how do we practically apply this power of imagination to attract wealth?
Well, it starts with that burning desire.
That fire in the belly.
Exactly. When you truly desire something, it sets your mind vibrating at a higher frequency, and you become more receptive to those flashes of insight.
So it's not just wishing, it's about cultivating that deep desire that fuels the imagination.
Right, because every fortune begins with an idea.
And ideas are born out of imagination.
Exactly. So be open to new ideas, nurture that imaginative faculty, and don't be afraid to dream big.
Love it. Now what about the subconscious mind?
Another powerful force, Hill calls it the connecting link between our conscious thoughts and that infinite intelligence we were talking about.
That bridge between the finite and the infinite.
Yes. And here's the thing. The subconscious mind doesn't differentiate between constructive and destructive thoughts.
Oh, that's a bit scary.
It is. It acts upon whatever we feed it, whether it's fear or faith.
So we really have to be mindful of our thoughts.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because they have real power to shape our reality. He gives the example of someone who's constantly worrying about money, fearing poverty.
Okay.
Those thoughts, amplified by the subconscious, can actually attract financial struggles.
Whereas someone who believes in abundance and takes action from that place.
They're more likely to attract wealth.
So it's not just about positive thinking, it's about embodying that belief, feeling it on a deep level.
Exactly. And that's where faith comes in.
Faith.
Yeah, Hill defines faith as that unwavering belief in your ability to achieve your goals, even when you haven't seen the physical evidence yet.
It's like that trust in the unseen.
Right. And he suggests that faith is something we can develop through repeated autosuggestion, through affirming those positive beliefs.
So we can train our minds to have more faith.
We can. And it's that faith coupled with persistent action that unlocks the power of the subconscious.
powerful combination.
It is. He even suggests that the subconscious mind is the channel through which we access the power of prayer.
Okay, now that's interesting. So if we pray with doubt and fear, are we blocking our prayers from being answered?
That's what Hill proposes. He says that approaching prayer with fear and doubt sends out negative vibrations which obstruct the flow of positive energy.
So it's about praying with conviction.
Exactly, with that deep-seated belief that your prayers are being heard and will be answered.
So faith and action go hand in hand. But is that enough?
Well, Hill is very clear that action is essential.
God take
He
action.
dedicates a whole chapter to organized planning.
Okay, so it's not just about dreaming, it's about having a plan.
Right. It's about taking those desires and converting them into concrete, actionable steps.
Makes sense.
He emphasizes writing down your goals, setting a timeline, breaking down large goals into smaller steps, and tracking your progress.
So it's about having a roadmap.
Exactly. And he also reiterates the importance of seeking expertise from others, that mastermind principle we talked about.
Right, so surround yourself with people who can offer guidance and support.
Exactly. Leverage the collective wisdom and experience of the group.
So it seems like achieving success is this dance between faith and action, tapping into the subconscious mind and creating concrete plans, individual effort, and collaborative support.
You got it. It's about integrating all these principles and finding that balance,
And to navigate this dance effectively, we need to master our emotions.
especially fear.
Fear is a big one.
Hill calls it the one major enemy that we must conquer,
He outlines 6 basic fears.
right? He does fear of poverty, fear of criticism, fear of ill health, fear of loss of love, fear of old age, and fear of death.
Pretty much covers all the bases.
Yeah, those universal fears. But he says that fear is nothing more than a state of mind.
A mental ghost.
Exactly.
Right.
We create it and we give it power.
So if we create it, we can also overcome it,
That's the idea. He suggests we first acknowledge our fears, bring them into the light.
face them head on.
Right. Then analyze them, understand their root cause, and challenge their validity.
So often our fears are based on imagined scenarios, not reality.
Exactly. And finally, replace those fears with positive, empowering beliefs.
Replace fear of failure with faith in success, fear of poverty with a belief in abundance.
Yes. Consciously reprogram your mind, shift your focus from what you don't want to what you do want.
How it's about creating new neural pathways, new habits of thought.
It takes effort and practice, but it's possible.
And this process of mastering our fears, cultivating faith and courage is important for all areas of life, not just financial success.
Absolutely. It's about living a fulfilling life free from the limitations of fear and self-doubt.
It's like Hill saying, don't let fear design your life. You are the architect.
That's a great way to put it. Now, we've covered a lot, but there's one more piece of the puzzle to explore Hill's concept of the sixth sense.
Ooh, the sixth sense. Now that sounds intriguing.
Yeah, the sixth sense is like the culmination of everything Hill talks about.
We talked about intuition, gut feelings, but this sixth sense seems different,
Mhm.
bigger somehow.
It is. It's like the highest principle in his philosophy,
Yeah.
building on all the others.
Okay, so like the final level, what is it exactly?
Hill describes it as that part of the subconscious mind that acts as a receiver for ideas, plans, insights, all coming from infinite intelligence.
So those flashes of inspiration, those like aha moments, that's the sixth sense.
That's it. But he says you can only really tap into it after you've mastered the other principles.
It's like reaching the peak of a mountain. You got to climb the lower slopes first.
Exactly. And he suggests it operates beyond our 5 senses, in a realm that's mental and spiritual.
So how do we develop it? Sounds kind of mystical.
Hill recommends practices like meditation, contemplation, and consistently applying the other 12 principles, of course.
Makes sense. So as you clear away, mental clutter, the sixth sense emerges.
It's like tuning a radio dial. You refine your thoughts and suddenly you're more attuned to those subtle whispers of intuition.
Okay, I like that analogy. So what's the point? How does it help us?
Hill believes it's the key to real wisdom, making good judgments, navigating challenges, and ultimately achieving those big desires.
It's like having an inner compass.
That's a good way to put it. And get this, Hill even says the sixth sense influences what we perceive as luck.
Wait, so those lucky breaks, those aren't just random chance.
Maybe not. Hill believes that as we align ourselves with those principles of success and we develop that sixth sense, we're actually more sensitive to opportunities, more likely to attract those fortunate events.
So we become magnets for good fortune.
Exactly. And the more you trust that inner guidance, the more you see its power playing out in your life.
It's pretty amazing stuff.
Mm.
So after this deep dive into Think and Grow Rich, what are the big takeaways for our listeners? What should they really remember?
Well, I think the most important takeaway is that creating wealth, it's not about luck, it's a process. And Hill lays out the principles anyone can learn and apply.
It gives us the tools.
He does. Another key point. Success starts from within. It's about mastering your thoughts, your beliefs, your emotions.
Cultivating that winning mindset.
Exactly. And understanding the power of your subconscious mind. How you can direct it towards what you want.
Aligning your thoughts, beliefs, and actions.
Absolutely. And of course, Hill stresses the importance of action. You can't just think and believe, you got to do something.
Gotta be a doer, not just a dreamer.
Yeah. Right. Dream big, but then have a plan, break it down into steps, and get moving.
So much wisdom packed into this book, and it's incredible how relevant it still is today.
Timeless for a reason.
Well, there you have it, folks. Our deep dive into Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. We hope you're feeling inspired to create your own success story.
As Hill might say, riches are not beyond your reach. They lie within the power of your own mind.
Beautiful. That's all the time we have for today. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, and until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep diving